Mike, after 2 games, defense off to a pretty good start, it looks like.
Yeah, I thought we played really pretty well through probably the first 3 quarters. Uh, Saturday, probably our best, just overall performance and being able to execute. We still had some things that we didn't play quite right, but overall our aggression, I thought our tackling, our pressures, all worked. Like we planned them to work. So execution was better
Kenneth
overall.
Kenneth Murray was so explosive in the game. Maybe his best game since he's been at OU. He was just all over
Definitely
the place.
his best game, and probably just played more under control. I thought just really under control. Saw the game the right way. Didn't force it. Got himself in position to make some big plays. So yeah, really pleased. I think that's the first game where you could see him really kind of settle in and start to play the way he's capable of playing, and kind of let the game come to him and do what you're supposed to do and not force it. And he did that, and he did what he was supposed to do, and the plays were there. He made them. So yeah, I thought he played well.
Mike, with them having their first game canceled and kind of having one game against a good opponent without Lazard, is it kind of tough to get a gauge on what you really face a little bit with this team?
Well, they're going to play well. We're going to need to play a lot better than we did a year ago if we want to win. So it's really not about them as much as it is about us. I didn't think we played particularly well a year ago, and if we want to win, we're going to have to play a whole lot better this year, and that's really what we're concentrating on. We're going to see what they do. They haven't changed much. They're going to run their stuff. The quarterback run game was a big part of it a year ago, and probably be a bigger part. Now that maybe he's down. Whether I doubt it'll be Lanning since he's gone, but
Yeah.
more the running back doing it. So they did some good things. Came in here with a great plan, and I thought they executed very well. They out executed us for the 60 minutes. So there's a lot of stuff to get prepared for, and they can still be a very explosive offense.
Well, I mean, they may not have Kemp, but I mean, Nolan's got a lot of tape too. Does that kind of help you out a little bit? Just that you've seen both these guys a lot.
Well, he's again, he wouldn't be at. They thought he was going to play a year ago when Kemp went in. They thought, we all thought he was the backup, and then Kemp came in and did a great job. Never relinquished really his job, and so obviously the kid's very capable. He played against Baylor a year ago, so there's tape. But yeah, he throws the ball well, and he's well prepared. He's been in their system. I don't know. I guess it's his third year. So again, we expect our backup quarterback to go in and play and be able to execute just like they do.
Mike, through 2 games, just your thoughts on cover skills of the secondary so far?
Much better overall. I think we're, haven't been threatened a whole bunch, but really like our position. I think our coverage has been tighter. I think, overall our pressures have been better, and it kind of works together. So we've been good. So again, this will be a different test, and probably even. We caught UCLA and Florida Atlantic at the right time with breaking in new quarterbacks. So this is, league play, and they understand what we like to do, and we understand what they like to do. So we're going to have to go out and really play well Saturday. But our guys, I love the way Purnell, I think Trey Norwood, I don't know if he's given up a pass yet. So they've covered well. Buki's played well. Justin Pearls has played well, and Khalil. The first group has played steady. They've done what we've asked them to do, and the coverage has been good.
Do you sense a different vibe with this team, or a different mentality? And if so, where does it come from?
Well, I think we have a lot of young energy in the group. everyone's trying to kind of find their way together, and that's good. The stability comes from the defensive line. They don't usually have a whole lot to say. They just go out there and play and, do what they do, just like the offensive line. They play hard, and they've been, really good for us up front. But a lot of the energy has come from that, that secondary group that's young, and they're very energetic, and they're very eager. That's the thing I love about those guys. They want to learn, they want to practice, they want to compete, and that's good. So you can tell it's a very vibrant group of players that have worked harder. I think, this is a group that by committee has worked extremely hard through the out of season and through camp, and I think it shows. I think they see what that brings. They're more prepared. They understand what's going on, and they're able to go out and execute better. So I think they put a lot into it, and the results are there. So hopefully they continue to keep working, and we practice better than we ever have the whole year out, and that's good. That's a very positive sign. They enjoy it, and they enjoy being coached, and that's good.
Mike, what's the emergence of Cutis Bolton meant to your defense?
Well, we've always known Cutis to make a lot of plays. That's one thing Cutis can do. Now the consistency in making a play and giving up a play is not a great trade-off. I think we're seeing a more consistent player down in and down out, and then he's still able to make the plays within the system. You can't go outside the system and try to do things that you're not supposed to do. He'll like to, try to go outside the framework of the defense sometimes and do it his way. But he's become a much more consistent and effective player by doing it, the right way. And I think he's more prepared. He understands his place a lot better than he ever has.
Mike, Mark Jackson was a guy who changed his commitment to you guys in high school. What was it about him that you saw that made him worth pursuing further once he'd already been committed?
Well, Mark was always the thing you notice about Mark, he was a really promising pass rusher when he was at Cibolo Steel, and a very athletic guy that can come off the edge. So that's the one thing you noticed about him when he was young.
What's it been like to see his emergence now after a couple years kind of coming out of nowhere like he has?
Oh, it's not overly surprising to me. I think he just turned 20, which is interesting. He came here his whole first year. He was only 17. So he's a young, developing player. We keep pushing him, to get bigger and stronger and continue to do more things. And he's progressing.
How was a guy like Kenneth Murray? Obviously, he wasn't a linebacker up until last year, and neither was Ryan Jones. How has he helped just Ryan's transition? Has he been like a guy that Ryan's kind of leaned on?
Yeah, I think so. I think there's some similarities there. I think it took I don't know if Kenneth has ever felt comfortable until maybe Saturday. That took him a year and 3 games to get to where the game just kind of came to him, and he did what he was supposed to do. And I think Ryan's kind of feeling his way through that process. I thought Ryan showed great athleticism on the field. You notice his athleticism, but there's a lot of things that Ryan needs to clean up as a player to continue his growth. So, but there's a lot of similarities, understanding your position on the field, understand the defense, understand how they're trying to attack you. There's a lot that happens very quickly, and without a lot of reps, it's hard to figure out. You're kind of just lining up and playing instead of trying to understand what's going to happen on each individual play. So Ryan is in that in that mode right now, but he's starting to become a more comfortable player.
He obviously, you have Murray and Jones. As far as athleticism, is this one of the more athletic linebacking cores that you've had?
Yeah, all 4 of those guys can do a multiple of things, and if you play variations of a 3-4, those 3 guys have to do what they did Saturday. They have to be all over the field, and you noticed our D-line took on a lot of blocks, and you got to let those guys run and make plays sideline to sideline. So if you're going to play this style of defense, those 4 guys have to be dominating players.
Mike, I think one guy that we haven't asked you about a whole lot is Dylan Fa'amatua, or what I don't know how to say his name, but he's a guy that seems like has really become an emotional leader for you guys that really starting to produce for you.
I think all those guys have progressed and become comfortable in what we're asking them to do. But Dylan is, but yeah, he's been a leader just like the rest of that group. He's, we consider all those guys starters, and they all kind of interact and try to rotate. But Dylan has progressed tremendously over last year, just getting here in the fall and then trying to catch on. So he's much more in tune with the defense and what we're asking him to do.
Now, you've often said that you need to get both Caleb and Buzzy on the field at the same time. Buzzy's playing so well. Can Caleb move around and play us in different spots?
Well, there's variations of how we do things. You can see that we're playing nickel quite a bit more than we have at any time. So nickel's become more prevalent in our defense, and if we're going in that direction, then that won't happen. Now, if we're playing a 3-4, there's Caleb can do a lot of things, and we can put him over at Sam and let him play Sam too. So that's something that we constantly look at and try to get our best players on the field. And we're always looking at long-term success for our players as well.
Do you play up the fact that you guys lost to these guys last year, or do you just focus on execution?
I think you focus on what we didn't do very well, and that's a lot of things. There's a lot of things to clean up from a year ago, and from the plan to the execution to the tackling to the coverage. I mean, I don't know what aspect was really good a year ago, so there ought to be plenty of motivation. And going on the road, a conference game, they're always going to be a lot tougher. And Iowa State is, they played extremely well a year ago, and we respect their abilities and all elements of their team. So again, our players know what it's going to take to win. So we look forward to the challenge and going out there and hopefully play a lot better than we did a year ago.
From week 1 to week 2, it seemed like Neville really started to settle in. What did you see from him?
Played a lot better his second game than he did the first game. He just needs to, do what he does every day in practice and settle in and let the game, kind of relax and go do what he does. And I think he'll see, we'll all see, more success when he's on the field.
You mentioned Curtis and you mentioned Mark. Is there a lot to be said for young players that may not get much playing time early, but they develop and stay patient and work to get on the field like those two have done?
Well, I don't know where any program, there's not many that you can go in your first year, a top 5, top 10 program and start. You look at, Buki, it tells you where we were secondary-wise with a guy that comes in and starts. That shouldn't, it usually doesn't happen very often. I don't know where it happens at Ohio State, Alabama, any of those, Clemson, where you got a freshman that comes in and takes over. So, a lot of times you do have to be patient. And you go in, there's going to be competition that there should be at every one of these high-level schools, and you should develop before you get on the field. I know we all want to play, but sometimes going out there and not playing the right way can be discouraging and ineffective if you do that. I think you lose confidence, and so you don't want to put a player out there until he's prepared to play at the level that we need him to play at.
Mike, is it easier to coach and demand more out of your players when they're playing as well as they are to start a season like this?
They've been good the whole year. They've let you coach them, and they've practiced hard and they play hard. So no, I mean it's a good group. They're in sync and they know what it takes to play well. I think you have to think about how they prepared the first 2 weeks, and that ought to give them motivation to continue to do what they're doing. It's working and it's effective. So,
Mike, did you get Barnes back this week?
Yeah, he practiced today.
Will he alternate
practiced
with
today and
Khalil?
yesterday. I don't know that. We'll see.
Thanks, Mike.
Thanks, Mike.